How's it going, everybody? This is DeanoGTO, and today we're going to be just talking quickly about the May Top of the Tree poll, which is up at the moment on the World Tanks EU server webpage. So, you're just going to quickly be talking about this here, not really going to go too in depth about it, but the two leaders at the moment, bear in mind this Top of the Tree would be for tank destroyers, are the Object 268 V4 and the FV 4005. Currently, the Object 268 V4. I should probably just start calling that thing the Object 4 or just the 268 V4 or something like that there, just try and find an easier name for it because saying that all the time gets tedious. So, like as an example, I mean, T110E4, nobody calls it that. Everybody just calls it the E4. It has to be an easier name for it. I can't think of a good one though. Maybe like the Russian shoe or something. I don't know. So the 268 V4 at the moment is currently winning by about 1,000 votes at the time of me making this video. It may be more or less by the time this video actually goes out because it's taking a little while for me to actually get this uploaded. It will take a while for me to get this uploaded because my home internet connection is not the greatest. So the 268 V4, I really don't think I need to go too in depth about why you wouldn't really want that thing to be the top of the tree. But I'll just go into a little detail here just for the hell of it. So first off, this thing has incredible frontal armor. Second off, it has very, very good mobility. And third, it has a decent gun. The gun is not great, but it is at least decent. And those three factors combined make this thing pretty much a tier 10.5. This thing is very slightly overtuned in comparison to what I think it should be at the moment. And honestly, here's how simple I think it would be to make this thing more balanced. Now, these first two things I think should absolutely happen if they want to make this thing still relevant, or well, not still relevant, but still relevant after they nerf it. First thing, they would need to nerf the side armor from what I presume is 80 millimeters to perhaps 40 or 30 millimeters. If they did that, that would allow you to overmatch the side armor from like angles like this. So you'll be able to track it and overmatch the side armor doing damage. Whereas if you try to do a shot like that at the moment, it would just get absorbed and you would not do any damage. So if they were to nerf the side armor in that sort of manner, that would allow it to maintain its godlike frontal armor. It would just make it a little bit more tricky when it comes to angling it. And at the moment, this is something I've noticed is pretty common. People side scrape this thing. So the armor here must be good, because people genuinely side scrape this tank. So yeah, we should probably try and put a stop to that if we can. So next thing I would do is I would change the reverse speed from 22 to 12. It's a pretty significant nerf, yes, but I believe it's necessary. Because at the moment, this thing here, if it overextends, is very, very likely to survive. So you can overextend massively into a massive enemy tanks. You can repair your tracks, and a lot of the time you can fall back prior to actually being killed. Whereas if you overextend in a lot of other tank destroyers, what will happen is you will die very quickly, and that would be you dead pretty much. But because this thing has immense armor combined with the great mobility, this thing a lot of the time is able to overextend and get away with it. So pretty much what the nerf to the speed would be a bit of a way to like discourage people from overextending massively over the time, all the time, like they do at the moment. Because a lot of the time they can get away with it at the moment. If they were to nerf the reverse speed, they wouldn't be able to do that as often. So that would encourage slightly more cautious playstyle with this machine. And the last thing, a bit more of a minor nerf, but I would make the effective traverse speed the same as the Panzer E100s. Because pretty much that would just make it a lot easier for mediums and smaller, faster vehicles to deal with this tank. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I would do to this machine. Now, the main competitor to this tank at the moment, for the top of the tree, I think I mentioned this earlier, was the FV 4005. Now, there are a couple of reasons I would recommend you vote for this thing over the 268 V4. First off, this line, all very squishy, very easy to kill tank destroyers. And something I have noticed with the tanks from this line is more often than not, they're played as like second line supports. So they're pretty close range, just try to fire off shots where they can, while hiding behind their heavies. That is more often than not the way I see them played. So I think if we were to, let me think, the best way to describe this here. If we were to have these as the top of the tree, if we were to see a lot of these things, it would be very easy to do damage to them, and it'd be a lot easier to like farm XP and damage off of them. Meanwhile, with the 268v4 line, seriously, we need a better name for that. We really do, because that gets tedious as hell. With the 268v4 line, you can't really consistently damage them. And if they're in a good position, they're pretty much unstoppable. You can't kill them. Meanwhile, these things here, if they're spotted or caught out in the open, they die very quickly because they're very squishy. And this is just a trait of the entire line. So yeah, this line here being top of the tree has benefits for the people who want to grind up this line by making it cheaper for them to progress through it, but it also is very easy for other people who are not playing this line to farm damage. So yeah, basically a win-win if this is the top of the tree. Now, as for the Russian line, really isn't. It's just a win for the people playing this line, because this thing here now has great armor. The only real weak link of this tree at the moment is the SU-101. Plus, this thing here is total, blatant XP sink. This thing here has a 19,000 XP gun, which, if I'm honest, this gun here should be the same as this gun. This gun here should have been this gun on the SU-100M1. Just to remove one of the random grinding guns you have on this tank. Because this gun here is unique to this tank, this one here is also unique to this tank, and then this one here is only shared with the 263. It's just such a ball ache to grind through this thing. This thing is going to be a hateful grind. So, yeah, that's my opinions on the 268v4 and the FV4005, and why I think the 4005 is the better choice for the top of the tree. And I also suspect that a nerf is incoming for the 268v4 in the near future, because from watching, I think, QuickieBB's video on some of the tier 10s at the moment, I think that thing still has like a 58% win rate, even though it's been out for like 2 months. That's unheard of. That hasn't happened since the Weapon Trigger E100. So, yeah. Who knows where they're going to go with that, pretty much. So, let me know what you guys think about everything I've said in the comment section below. And hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you in the next one.